steering wheel. Lap's the steering wheel, yeah. Give him steering wheel. Hey, steering wheel. Somebody tell him to give it to him. Come on! Whoa!
Your leg, my please. Your leg hip.
How the f*** that's possible?
I'm driving like a grandma. Get that, Ralph? Did you hear me? Proper radio. Ralph, acknowledge. Now, come on, close him down and kill him. We've got a lunatic on the track. Down that interstate.
I am so annoyed.
Hello, welcome back.
Boys and girls, your attention, please.
That's what I need. Welcome back to, Inside, I should say, the Part From A podcast number 998. It's Todd.
No, Todd, not now.
A.K.A. Nick Camber. You know what we do on race weekends?
We watch one, then we talk about it. Then we watch one, then we talk about it. Come on, Todd.
That's exactly what we do. We do that every race weekend because why wouldn't we? Seems fun, doesn't it? Hey, before we do that, though, I got to go pull in, my co-host. And I happen to know he literally just got off a plane and got to his house from Spa-Francorchamps. And before that, he was at the Nurburgring. He truly is the international.
Rex from out of the wasteland. He's bad, he's beautiful, he's crazy.
Hello, everybody. This is Paul Charles, the International.
Paul, you truly are the international.
I was this week, wasn't I?
You were everywhere.
Yeah.
You're like Mohammed bin Salim. You're Eddie everywhere.
Oh God, please don't.
The best part of the weekend was that he literally thinks that like he is F1
F1 driver,
and he had to get a real go-kart and lead the whole pack. And then seeing him get beached in the gravel trap for me was it was a beautiful thing.
That is a beautiful thing.
That guy's such a piece of work. I'm telling you.
Yes, he is indeed.
Yeah.
And luckily, he's found a way of not having to go back to voting for him. And,
I guess, yeah. He's going to be like a lifelong president now. I guess we don't
fantastic.
Yeah.
We don't do voting anymore.
No, who needs to vote?
Why would you?
Why would you?
He's doing such a great job. He's such a great guy.
Bang up job.
I don't know. Yeah, bang up job. But no, hey, if there was a vote, everyone would vote for him anyway, right? It's a slam dunk. So.
Foregone conclusion anyway.
Why bother with those formalities?
Yeah. Who needs to bicker and argue? Oh, boy. Did you get the British Grand Prix? Your motherland Grand Prix watched?
I did. I say it was a whirlwind week. So I was in Germany when visited Nurburgring. Tried to be able to get on the track. Wasn't quite able to, but that is a great place to go. And then off to Spa for our little 25-hour race.
How'd that go?
Oh, it was good till it wasn't. But it was the car, because they've got two classes. There's a two-seater class and a single-seater class. We're in the two-seater class because we got our harder racing drivers, Hannah Grisham and Greenmeyer, Dudu Barrichello, and Marco Sorensen driving all these VIPs from the heart of racing who came out for a visit. And this is the only race in the world where you can actually have a passenger alongside in an actual race. It's one thing getting a parade lap, getting a hot lap during pre-race ceremonies, but you're actually in the race and we're actually competing for, the win. Last year we came second and we were extremely fast and leading. And then a car spun in front of Hannah and she bumped into him and that caused some damage. We went down a little bit. Then we had brake issues. Then we had stone went through the radiator. So we got a number of laps down, but it was still fun. The people, giving people, we just kept going for it because you never know what can happen, right? So we ended up fifth in the end. But it's a nice. It's always great to be in Spa.
Yeah.
But it's a very different race to all the others we do. It's pretty lax. We have a good time while we're doing it. The intensity will kick in pretty hard once I get to Canada on Wednesday, which is our next IMSA race. So it's nice to kind of have a little bit more free little weekend where you're not so intense on winning championships and things like that. But we're always competitive, so we're all definitely trying to win. So we weren't happy about not winning, but it was still good.
Oh, that's cool. Did you happen to jump in the car and just take a lap, drive around?
No. I jumped in the car, but I rode with Hannah Grisham because
okay.
I could have driven, but there wasn't a lot of time. And then I was like, you know what? Hannah's been on team for 4 years now. I've never ridden in a car with her. And I tell her how to drive half the time. So it was fun. It was really fun. She did a great job. It was I've ridden with a lot of people in my life, through all my different things with cars and things, you included. Yeah, you've ridden with me. Yeah, well, you drive the R8, and it was nice to ride with Hannah, so I enjoyed that anyway.
Oh,
and
that's
got to go around Spa anyway. Yep.
Did you? You've told me this last year. What's your favorite corner there? Did you say Pujol?
I'm not sure I could nail a corner because you go around there and every corner has a story. Yeah. And and I just, when I drove there, every corner, I'm just like, wow, this is cool. This is Stavolo. This is La Source. Eau Rouge is definitely the most intense. Yeah. I will tell you that. You get, or should I say, Radillon is the most intense. So you can get through Eau Rouge pretty easy, but it's a matter if you're going to come out the other end. Over the top of the hill. That's when you're like, is there grip? Is there not grip? But you either Jacques Villeneuve it or you make it. Yeah, exactly. It's just it's on Blanchimay is actually pretty cool. Is it? But honestly, the whole track, every single corner I enjoy. So it's a lovely track. Yeah, no doubt. Really is. Well, speaking of good tracks, Silverstone isn't half bad itself. Yeah, not too bad. Did you know, Paul, that it was built at the site of a former airstrip in World War II? What? No. Yeah, it's windy. That is intriguing. Yeah. I think that old canard is almost as dog-eared as did you know it could rain on some parts of Spa and not the others. I think I would agree with you there. Yeah, I think the old airstrip thing in the wind is, that's been done to death. Yes. So anyway, well, let's talk about the British Grand Prix because Paul, as a stately Englishman yourself, yes, having born and raised in Kent, in Essex, sorry, near Kent, near Kent. You always wanted to be from Kent, but all my family. Cousins and uncles, they're all from Kent. So there you go. All right. Somehow we moved away from Kent as a wee child. You decided all the fun people were in Essex. There's some fun people in Essex, that's for sure. The fun people. Yes. Yep. But you've had a whirlwind week being an Englishman. You've had England beating Mexico in the World Cup. That was huge. That was intense. Yeah. That was big. Yeah. And then the British Grand Prix. Yeah. So let's talk about it. Let's do a little level set of the weekend. I found I was reading some of the F1 press. I was reading the race over there, and they had reported that McLaren admitted it was surprised, Paul, by a revived Mercedes engine deployment trick, which McLaren cannot yet access on their heat power unit. Shouldn't be allowed. It's like, what? Really? Oh. Well, that might be handy to be able to do that trick, but we can't find that trick on our power unit. They forgot to push they didn't go for that nightly upgrade, unfortunately. They didn't know it was that Saturday was time to upgrade your software. Yeah, it's like Zach. It's a firmware update. It's a firmware update. Firmware 2.1.6. Did you not? I sent the email to make sure you do that. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. And then the whole safety carryover, the rear wing not attaching all the way on the Red Bull happened in Austria. And that's happened again. So we'll talk about that when we get to poor Max. That's no bueno. Yeah, that's not good. All right. Well, let's jump in. We'll go team by team. Start at the sharp end of the grid. Start off with Ferrari.
Yeah, Charles Leclerc P1, Lewis Hamilton in P3. Ferrari's first win of the season. It's exciting. Leclerc's first since forever.
24.
Yeah. And they said, the kind of, I think Fred Vasseur was trying to level set the expectation. Like, they maybe struggle here, and we all kind of bought that, or at least I did, because I was thinking, all right, they came with their new engine upgrade in Austria and really didn't set the place alight. So maybe this is going to be a challenge for them. But he said the setup changes they made between Saturday morning and the afternoon really restored a lot of the feeling in the car for Leclerc. He kind of got that magic setup. And then I saw somewhere on social media, so I don't know if it's true, that Lewis said, yeah, basically Charles did better because he used my setup.
Whoa.
Ooh, really? Okay. I'm not saying he did. Not saying he didn't. But
I mean, and some people would put, I get the feeling back in the car as just kind of just a sentence, but it's so important for a driver to have that. Yeah. If you can't feel what the car's doing, you cannot tell it what to do next because you don't know what it's doing right now. And so just getting that's why I always love BMWs. You used to have a BMW. It's like, I did. They just give you all the feedback in the world. You know exactly what the car's doing, how the chassis is moving. When you turn the wheel, you know exactly where it's going to be pointed when you do it. And to grab a car by the scruff of the neck, that's what is a necessity to have. And so, when Charles says, it switched on, I could feel everything going on, then you know he's going to get the most out of the car. It's so true. I was talking to a couple very nice German gentlemen the other day, and we were talking about cars, and I was telling him I owned Audis and lovely car, love Audis. But I had never owned a BMW, and when I bought a BMW, the boys at München, oh my gosh, they know what they're doing, because you're the dramatic difference between the feel. The Audi is an amazing car, love them. But the feel is instant in that BMW. I could feel everything that car was doing, It's amazing. Yeah. It is amazing. Yeah. And so you're right. I think that, look, Charles knows how to hustle a car, and certainly over a single lap. We know he's a qualifying genius, but he's been off the pace. And this weekend, you could see, boom, it clicked. Boom, on pole, right? And Fred said that, it was some of the setup changes they made which really clicked in. It had something to do with the deployment and the differential in the car, how the system was deploying energy and how the differential was working during those deployment. So there's some sort of match there between the diff and the deployment. When they changed it, everything clicked for him. So one race, but we'll see. We'll see, right? Anyway, he picked off Kimi at the start, had a stronger launch than he did into turn one, controlled really the opening stint, much of the race, lost the lead during the pit cycle, of course, but held off Kimi. That Kimi had him. Kimi was coming, he was coming. Nibbled that lead down to 3.7 seconds, and then he had an issue, and that left Charles in the lead. Said the changes that they had made really made it click. Yeah, it was his first win since U.S. Grand Prix in 24, and I think he desperately needed it. Absolutely needed it. Lewis has been coming on strong, and that's going to boost his confidence, and I think Charles really needs that. Yeah, he did. And, I think the team at that point, Paul, certainly out in the lead, you had Lewis really, on an aggressive strategy, coming back in, trying to, Lewis, we'll talk about it in a second, but he had that penalty, recovering from that, really trying to make the most of it, coming back in. But it was really the team, look, you gotta favor Leclerc at this point. He's leading the race, and you got to guard the track position, and it is what it is. But, a great result for him. You're right. He desperately needed it. Glad to see him do it. Super good guy. Lewis, down in P3, he had that 5-second penalty for the car moving at the start.
jumped the start. That dropped him back. He did fight forward again, though, past Verstappen late to run in second, running in P2. And then Ferrari made that decision during the safety car to box Leclerc and then box Lewis. To put on some softs, and that dropped him down to third because George and Mercedes, very cheeky, protected track position, left George out, and George inherited second. So there's that. Lewis also had that post-race yellow flag infringement at Copse that the stewards kind of accepted whatever the reasoning was. Yeah. And he said he was watching his mirrors and waiting for Max to do a counterattack, and they sort of issued a reprimand, and that's it. So
yeah, that's it.
It's interesting because that Anthony Davidson did a pretty good job breaking it down. As Lewis went in, the yellow lights came on his steering wheel. You could see him, and he didn't lift. Max coming right behind him, yellow lights came in, and you could hear Max lift.
Yeah.
So Max lifted, Lewis didn't, but they no penalty. I'd say he had some home field advantage there.
Yeah, it's interesting what penalties become are manipulatable and what aren't some way. Because I mean, the whole start line thing with Lewis seems silly, also, right? It was
he fully stopped
in the end. He fully stopped, and I think he stopped before the line.
Yeah,
where his wheel had to be. So I don't even see why that's a penalty at all. It didn't used to be.
Yeah.
It used to be, as long as you were still behind that line, you were stopped before you went. But maybe there's some reason I don't know. But
that was fractional at best.
As we always talk about, the penalty system is really flawed in so many ways, and there's a good example of it.
Yeah, it was. It was. I hated to see Lewis get that penalty because I thought, oh, okay, well, car rolled forward and then it full stopped and then it delayed him getting off the line. So it was, as you said, it was more of a detriment than it was an advantage, Right,
right.
But look, I have Ferrari taking some incoming over boxing Lewis, and you would, and Team LH should, be upset about it. And I get that. I understand. But if I'm honest, I would have made the same call. I would have boxed them both for fresh rubber, knowing and assuming everyone would.
Right.
It
seemed like there was enough time, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It seemed like there was enough time.
It wasn't like that wasn't like Max was in the barriers and all this kind of stuff. It just seemed like they should be able to get rid of that quick and get it underway quick, but their process drew the whole thing out to a grinding halt, and we got no race to finish. Yeah, agreed.
Mercedes, George Russell, P2, Kimi Antonelli, P16. First, let's be honest, George inherited a podium that he didn't actually really earn on pace. It was really a great move by Mercedes. Antonelli's afternoon really defined by the wheel shield failure that they said they're going to have to take the car apart and really focus on it, leaving Toto saying, look, at this point, reliability, not pace, is the team's predominant issue and key focus area. And it has to be. They've just had too many of these niggles that's cost both George and Kimi, and
Ferrari from the points. Look at it now. Yeah. You're looking at Ferrari. We're talking about Charles' resurgence. Lewis has been right there nearly pretty much the whole year. It's going to be a battle for the championship, and I know Mercedes probably don't care which driver wins championship, although I think they do. They for sure care who wins the manufacturer's championship.
For sure. Yeah. They are in that risk window now, I think. If they can't get on top of the reliability. Let's talk about George finishing P2, battle of Verstappen and Hamilton through the middle of the race before and I thought he was looking okay. I thought he was there battling those two. Seemed to lap times were improving, and then he had that slow puncture, and I thought, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Just bad luck, George. It dropped him down to 6th. Then he inherited 2nd when Verstappen crashed and the safety car came out. Ferrari boxed both drivers. And Mercedes, very, very fortuitous call. Maybe Toto just knew that this is going to take a hell of a lot longer than it should, so we're not boxing him.
Well, I think they just didn't have anything to lose by doing that. I think if
True.
they're on pace with new tires with the others, he probably wasn't going to get anything done. So that was literally their only bullet in the gun for the end of the race anyway.
Yeah, I think you're right. George says, emotional afternoon, mix of bad luck and good luck. And he said there's still an issue, the underlying issue with pace that they need to get on top of before Spa. I did find an interesting sort of back and forth between him and Toto. Even on Saturday, George was saying that there's an issue on his side of the garage with straight line speed. It just hasn't been there over the weekend. Yeah. Found it interesting at the end of the race when they were congratulating him on the radio. Toto made a point of coming on the radio and saying, "Yeah, and nice job, George." And the straight line speed was there; it looked good. Okay,
and that's what they're saying over the public.
Exactly.
Wonder what's doing behind closed doors. Definitely something.
Tells me Toto was not happy with him saying that they didn't have straight line speed.
Yeah, reading between the lines, George is saying he's got a soft engine and Kimi's got the good stuff. So
exactly, and I think that's what Toto was trying to get out ahead of on that.
Yeah,
I caught that. Kimi down to 16th, lost the lead at the start. It could be forgiven. Ran 3rd, then passed Hamilton, closing hard on Leclerc at one point. I mean, he was flying. Looked really good. Then he had this sudden wheel shield that snapped back on the front left, and they suspected some debris picked up on a curb that he was normally taking for most of the race. Left the car difficult to turn. He tried and slowed, and he started drifting back. Then he fought to hold that track position, and I love the tenacity, Paul. He was saying, "No, I'm going to give it everything I got." Very.
Where am I?
Yeah, where am I? Very sort of Schumacher-esque, and saying, you cannot give up. You got to get out there. If he could get 1 point, 2 points, and he was in 9th, and was going to finish 9th. Unfortunately, Paul, because of the steering issue, he would run wide of the track limits and amassed that, and they gave him a track limit penalty, 5 seconds, dropped him all the way back down to P16 because all the cars were bunched up behind the safety car, so they were all there. So what normally may have only cost him 2 or 3 places cost him a ton because the cars are all bunched up at the restart. Or at the end of the race, and it's tough. And so a lot of criticism about this, Paul, about, my gosh, why would you be giving out track limits when the guy's not gaining an advantage for doing so? He's nursing a car that's damaged and do that. My counter to that would be, Paul, if you're literally driving a car around the track that can't make the corners, is that a safe car to be driving at those speeds?
Right. Slow down. Yeah. I mean, obviously it called him out once and then he wasn't able to adjust enough. And then eventually, I think he got a handle on it, and obviously they removed the piece. So that probably made it a little easier. Right. It is hard. I know in IMSA, they won't call track limits if there's an outlying reason why that happened, or the advantage game. But I don't think Formula One wants to play that game particularly. Yeah. They just want the X's and O's. You were or you weren't. But they must have some flexibility. If 2 cars are dicing and someone runs them off the road, is that a track limit? Even it is a track limit, but do you count that? So there is, I think, a little flexibility there. But obviously, they weren't going to play that card with Kimi. So,
well, let me ask you a question on that. In IMSA, if you guys had maybe your GT3 car had a steering issue and it was late in the race, and this same thing happened, and let's say, your driver was running beyond track limits and trying to get and just secure the points.
Yeah.
If it was consistent going over track limits? Would they have given you a penalty? Or if you went to IMSA and said, look, we were having steering rack issues, he was in control of the car, but he was running a little wide, but we were nursing issue, would they let that go?
I don't think so if it's consistent. I don't know, I didn't count how many times Kimi did it, but, if you're going off at the same turn 4 laps in a row, then that's a fixable problem. You just slow down so you can make the corner, right? And knowing the car that you're driving doesn't have the ability to take the corner as fast as it used to, and you just have to adjust the speed for that.
Yeah.
So
that's why I kind of understand. I wasn't happy to see him get penalized. I would have loved him to see him finish P9 and secure a couple points, and I hated it for him, but it is what it is.
I think a bigger question was how do you, when you're giving these time penalties, should it be adjusted somewhat when you're finishing a race under full course yellow? Right?
Yeah, true.
A 5-second penalty is equal to a 1 minute penalty.
Yeah.
If it's versus a green track, that's a bit much, but the penalty just becomes massive because of what's happened, not in your control, right? So
I could argue, Paul, that you should give the penalty based on the last green lap time splits.
Right.
Whatever the last green lap was.
The yellow came out.
Yeah, because that would have, because that was the true measure of where he was. Had it finished under green, that's the 5 second would have put him in 6th place, or 12th place instead of 16.
Right. I just think it's a really unfortunate thing, and obviously it happens in all racing, happens in IMSA racing too. The same kind of thing. You got a 10-second penalty at the end of the race, and there's a yellow flag. You're going to the back. You're going to the back, and so I feel like they should look at that penalty more than even just the track limits situation that Kimi had, but just how that penalty is enforced under a full course yellow finish to the race. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, now that I think about it, they should go back to the last green flag lap time deltas between the drivers, assess the penalty, and put you there. Not because they're all bunched up now, and so you're going to the very back because it's all bunched up and it finishes under yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Let's talk about McLaren. Lando Norris, P4, Oscar Piastri, P11. I think it's probably a result that may have flattered it may have flattered what their real pace actually was, I think.
Right.
Their competitive picture right now, I think, was a little flattered by this race, and some attrition, right? All that being said, Andrea Stella said, he was very direct that McLaren was only 4th fastest car at Silverstone and benefited from the attrition. Lando ends up in P4, lost a place to start, recovered through, I would say, some late race opportunism, really driving well, as you'd expect, some attrition ahead of him.
Yep.
That thinned out the herd, leaving him in 4th, very much like George inheriting P2 because he stayed out. I think Lando kept himself in the game to take advantage of any attrition. Did so. Praised the strategy for the team. Said that they did a well-timed late stop, maximized their result from that. Said their weekend's result, 3rd in the sprint, 4th in the race, were better than the car's true performance level in his mind. So he was kind of happy with the results, given what he thought they were going to be. It's a tough weekend, but my gosh, does his grandstand look marvelous in all that yellow? It's incredible.
They sure called each other and made sure they all color coordinated, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Incredible.
Yeah. It was amazing. Yeah.
It
was
nearly
great.
as big as the Lance Stroll stand in Canada.
Nearly.
But,
it's like 3 seats over there. The bunch of people with some snakes and buzz bombs they set off for Lance. Whee!
But yeah, I mean, it was a 6th place car, right? And they ended up 4th, so they got to be happy with that. I just wonder what in the car they're fighting that the car couldn't come alive there. And
apparently,
how that bodes for the next races.
Apparently, they missed out because Mercedes uses this. How Mercedes wins using this one weird trick. That's like a clickbait headline, isn't it?
Yeah, you should use that.
I should. How Mercedes wins using this one weird trick. Yeah. So
we just don't give them everything.
Yeah, right. We just, that's it. So
superpower delete.
Yeah. Let's delete that code in the. Yeah. Okay. Bum for Oscar though. Down at P11, he had a great result last weekend. And you and I talked about it. He needed that. Needed to get that, or Grace and I talked about that. Needed that to sort of get his season kind of back and going, right? And so super happy for him there. Then he walked into this, had contact with Lawson's Racing Bull. The stewards looked at it and said, actually, the majority of the blame was kind of on Oscar. So no penalties for either driver, but he stayed out briefly trying to assess the damage and then came in, and that put him at the back, just couldn't recover. And as you said, Paul, the car's pace just wasn't there to really scythe through the field and get back up to 4th, 5th. And it's unfortunate for Oscar. Needed a better weekend, didn't get one here.
Yeah, he didn't. And I mean, he's digging himself a hole again. Yeah. He hasn't lit anything up, really. And, as you say rightly, if the car isn't there to be able to skype through the field, you just become an also-ran. Yeah. So, I mean, the racing Formula One is not just a driver, it's a driver in the car. And if he's not at his best and his car's not at his best, he's going to kind of keep getting these kind of results.
Yeah. Because I feel like the car was certainly there to be with Lando, 4th, 5th.
Right, I mean that's where he should be, right? He should be
that's
right
where he should have been.
Him.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Red Bull, Isaac Hadjar, P5, Max Verstappen, DNF. I kind of felt like this weekend was starting out with some encouraging pace that I was seeing on Friday, and then in the sprint qualifying, and then in the actual qualifying for the race, Mekki's basically opened his remarks apologizing to Max for the second consecutive rear wing issue that put him in the wall or off in the gravel at Stowe. And it was sort of a mea culpa moment for Red Bull there. We'll start with Max. Struggled with balance, straight line speed relative to Hadjar's car all weekend. Hadjar out-qualified him, was running third, and really looking for a strong points finish despite all of the challenges he had up to that point. Then the rear wing didn't fully reattach itself, exiting the corner for the second race weekend, put him out into the gravel at Stowe. He called the recurring fault dangerous, super dangerous, not happy at all. He could hurt himself. He said one time's a thing, but twice in a row, not acceptable. And he's not willing to just wait till his luck runs out, right? And who can blame him?
Yeah, where are they going next?
Spa, super fast. Yeah, you're gonna need a wing.
There's a lot of super fast turns there, and a lot of turns that if something goes wrong, it's a big accident. So I understand exactly what he's talking about. Yeah. But it does show you, just the little things, even like the Kimi deal and this deal with Max, how these cars are on the edge and how important those aero pieces are, that one little thing goes wrong. Yeah. And basically the car is completely out the window of performance. And when it happens in the middle of the corner, that's exactly what happens. What happened to Max. So
I wonder if he'll show up at Spa with a normally open wing and not the rotating flipping wing.
Yeah, I would say they're going to have to do a lot to convince him. I mean,
they will.
It would upset you for sure as a driver. I mean, that's some high speed stuff going on there. The gravel traps are pretty big at the British Grand Prix, but not so much at Spa.
Yeah, he's not happy, and you could tell.
No.
this whole weekend, very down, not happy. They asked him about, he said he wanted to start from the pit lane and an engine change. Team decided otherwise. I think this is the first time I've really seen Max sort of speaking like he's fed up with the team. In the past,
or at least the car, right? Yeah.
Yeah. In the past, it's always been his dad stirring and muddying the water, while Max said, "Yeah, I'm just focused on trying to get the car to the front and blah blah blah."
Yeah.
But this weekend's a different level of comments from Max than what we've normally seen, and that is all born out of a weekend that the rumors were just rife with him potentially leaving. So
yeah,
I found that interesting, and I would say normally when a driver's talking that way, historically he's pretty much thinking of checking out, but we'll see.
Thinking it or leveraging it, but
either way,
yeah, I just don't know. It's like Red Bull have performed very well. They've done a great job in turning that car around. Performs great. Hadjar is the guy that's kind of backing up the performance that the car has in it.
Yeah.
Where do you go where you don't have complete control and your teammate isn't someone that just has to bow down to you? And he can't go to Mercedes, and Kimi's not going to do it, right? So goes to Ferrari, no one there. I don't know.
Goes to McLaren, Lando wouldn't do it.
Exactly. So it's like, do you jump to a car that's probably better, or do you stick with a team that completely is surrounded for you?
I know.
And try and just make the team better? Or maybe some of his barking is about,
leveraging it.
Fear of Jesus into the team.
Yeah.
That, oh my God, he could leave. It's not good old Max. He's pissed off. Let's knuckle down here, everybody,
Max is upset. Don't anyone make Max mad, please. They probably already sent like 3 Harry and David fruit baskets to his house. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We're so sorry.
He does
Max.
love those. I know he loves those.
Yeah. Who doesn't? Isaac, you mentioned Isaac P5. Before I jump to Isaac,
Okay.
It's interesting because some of the things I've read from F1 Press is talking about how Lewis last year just did not get on song with the ground effects cars. Just couldn't.
Yeah.
Wasn't his thing. Just wasn't. This year's car, very much more to his driving style and liking. Plus, Ferrari's done a good job with the car.
Yeah.
Could this be, given Isaac's performance, a case of Max just not liking this car and all of this energy deployment and braking and super whatever they call it, clipping and all this stuff? Could this be a formula that he just doesn't get on and drive well, whereas Isaac
like it,
does?
That's for sure, right?
I know he doesn't like it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But could this be the first formula we've seen Max get in like Lewis last year, or like Daniel Ricciardo after the 2014 regs just isn't on song with? Right.
I mean, possibly, but I just feel like Max is either in or he's out. And when he's in, he's
all in.
Whether he likes it or not. He hasn't liked a lot of cars in the past, but
true.
But he'll always, he's so competitive and just wants to win.
Yeah.
I guess I don't see it, but it could happen, I guess, after that many world championships and things like that. And think, oh, great, now I have to do this, really?
Now I have to do this. Yeah. His head, I think you make a better point than I did. I think maybe he hates these cars. He just does. Yeah. He doesn't like all the electric. He doesn't like it. It's not what interests him. And I would say mentally, he may not be 100% in,
Yeah.
Where he has been
perhaps
all that time. That makes more sense to me.
He's definitely distracted with other things that he wants to do. And he's even said that verbally that, it's not F1 or nothing. Like for Lewis, it's F1 or nothing.
Yes.
But for Max, there's just so many more things he wants to do. And he just loves racing, and he's not obsessed with it having to be a Formula One car.
Yeah. Well, talking about somebody that is all in, certainly Isaac, P5, out-qualified Max again, converted into a clean fifth-place finish. Another great run by Isaac. Ran in relative isolation, really, for much of the middle stint. Called it boring from that point. Had a strong recovery late. They had a front wing issue. I don't know if it was adjustment or repair or what they had to do there, but did recover from that. I have to say, I don't know that Isaac really cares. He probably doesn't care about all the Max drama. And if you're Isaac, he'd probably like to see the back of Max, right?
Yeah, probably.
If Max, all right, if he's not happy and he can't drive this car, then let him walk. I'm here. I'm doing a good job. Bring up, Liam or somebody and we'll go,
Well, I mean, the old adage, every driver has to completely believe that they're the best.
Yeah.
And they just need the chance to show that they're the best. And I'm sure Isaac thinks he's the best.
Yeah, no doubt.
And so, I think you're correct. I mean, you got to have so much belief in you. If you start doubting it, then you're not even competitive anymore.
Yeah,
and I think he's shown enough to give himself enough hope that absolutely he could do it. I mean, he's out qualified Max a couple of times. He's staying on his coattails. He's getting more experience. He had all these things in. He was like, why can't I beat him?
Yeah, and we've seen a few races this season. I mean, his fight back and recovery through the field has been terrific. Really has. Done a great job. Speaking of great job, Racing Bulls, another great weekend for these guys. Gosh, I almost sound like Karun Chandhok there. It's like Racing, but another great weekend. Almost got it there. Racing Bulls, Liam Lawson, P6, Arvid Lindblad, P7. Fourth consecutive double points for the team, Paul. Pretty darn excited and a legitimate claim to being best of the rest. They're only a point away from Alpine in the championship, right? Woo, it's close. Liam, involved in that opening lap thing with Oscar, no penalties or anything. It was more Oscar had greater share of the responsibility in that clash. Managed a strong start, consistent pace throughout the whole race. I think Arvid had qualified ahead of him, so he did get around and then had really good pace for most of the race. No drama for him. 4 straight points finished for the team. Continued the run that really kind of, for him, I think you could see really the upgrades that came in Barcelona is where all of this momentum started for this team. And Liam, to his credit, has been delivering. I think he's did a great job.
Yeah, he has been delivering. The car's been doing a great job. Say the upgrades are working, making a pretty lively car.
Yeah.
Never forgetting, it's still got the same new engine that the Red Bulls have in it. So the package together there is actually pretty darn strong. And Lawson, I don't know, I saw some things about Lawson being replaced. I don't know why you would think about doing that right now. He's doing a freaking solid job there. I mean,
I don't know why they would do
not
that.
A slow driver. So
they were talking about that all weekend. They're going to bring up one of their junior drivers, and maybe it's a personality thing. I don't know, but I think Liam's acquitting himself very well and doing a great job.
Absolutely.
Arvid did too. P7 scored points in his first home Grand Prix. Big weekend for him. A lot of pressure. Said the crowd support was amazing. Fought for stopping wheel to wheel there. Then had a deployment issue that cost him track position, which wasn't great. Credited the team's upgrades package, as I mentioned, is really sustained a much better pace for the team and really moved him up. And this is a rookie, Paul. He looked terrific this weekend.
Now, is it true he's 18?
Arvid? No.
He's a teenager. Because someone said he was the youngest.
He's 8?
English.
No. I've got to look that up in real time, folks.
Okay, do that. But I heard he was a young and he doesn't look that young. But he's obviously every race is a new race for him right now.
Is he 18? He is 18. Okay, you're right.
There you go. See? Yeah.
I thought he was 19 or 20.
When I heard that. Yeah, that's what I would have thought. But he's doing a phenomenal job for his age and experience. So,
that's incredible.
Future looks bright for him and the team. Honestly.
Yeah, gosh, I was thinking he was like slightly older than Kimi, like close to 20 or something. I didn't know he was 18. Yeah. Oh, what an amazing job! Yeah, just a terrific weekend for him. And you know, you and I, we've seen these flashes of brilliance from him, and we said on a few race reviews, you know, it's like up and down. You know, we'd see some just brilliant stuff out of him. You think, oh my gosh, you know, this kid is really talented. Then there'd be some like, and he's a rookie, and you can forgive him that, certainly, and understand that. I almost feel like it's the same story for Gabriele Bortoleto. Seen some really terrific. This weekend's one of them, right? Yeah, a really good performance, and then then it sort of peak and valley.
Yeah, I would say for Arvid though, he's becoming a lot more consistent now.
Yeah. Now some of that you could argue is the car,
right?
With reliability issues and those kind of things that Audi struggle with, which we felt they would. And we can talk about him.
About Arvid, not Bortoleto, but I'm saying Lindblad is a lot more consistently fast now than he was at the first third of this season. You know.
Yes, and I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying that that Gabby may not. That consistency in there for Gabby, but some of that's reliability issues on the Audi.
For sure. If we're talking about Audi,
Yes, talking about Audi and the reliability of the Audi car and the challenges that they've had, which would leave them out of the points or out of Q3, those kind of things. But when you measure Gabby to a veteran like Nico, I think he's definitely holding his own. You know, he's thereabouts, and Nico's no slouch, right? No. So anyway, both of them, I think both are doing a fantastic job. I think Arvid had a fantastic weekend. Very excited for him. His home Grand Prix, how special is that? Speaking of Audi, let's talk about Gabby and P8, Nico DNF. First point since Australia for Bortoleto. That's your consistency thing. Genuine reliability was a milestone for him here, although that was slightly undercut by a DNF with Hülkenberg's gearbox retirement. So sort of a tale of two sides of the garage for Audi. They had a really good P8 result for Gabby, had a lackluster start, not the best start. Recovered from that, got back up at 8th, finished in the points, a good result for him. Came within like 0.03 of a second in Q3, so really on song for a good portion of the weekend. Strong qualifying performance for him, and much needed points and a good job.
Yeah, I feel there's not a lot of fanfare about the Audi Formula One team. I feel like they don't get a lot of chatter, honestly.
I'm waving the flag.
Interesting. Yeah, it's. I mean, they've done a really good job, and I know we've talked about it along the deal. How it's a new car, new team, new engine, all that stuff. They've probably got the hardest job out of anybody, and they're doing a really good job with it. But yeah, for some reason they just don't seem to. People just don't talk about them very much. So.
They don't. I don't know why, because everybody was, for years, you know, Grace and I used to make a joke out of it. You know, it was Audi's coming to Formula One, and we're like, I'll believe it when I see it. And everybody was like always talking about Audi possibly coming to, and they're here, and nobody's talking about it. It's just strange. I think they're doing an amazing job. I really do. The Audi engine is strong. Yes, they've had reliability issues, but you would expect that. Yeah, I think they're doing great. Nico Hülkenberg, DNF, not much to talk about. Retired with gearbox issue, in a tough weekend, and more reliability issues. Again, kind of be expected. Just like Cadillac, you know, it's hard to take a club to Cadillac and what they're doing. They're learning. You know, they're learning, and they're
quickly.
Yeah, and hey, this weekend we'll get to Cadillac, but they didn't have any brake on fire, so that was good.
Yeah. That's a bonus.
Yeah, it is a bonus. Let's talk about Alpine. This is such an interesting battle. I know most people are focused at Kimi and George and Ferrari and Lewis and Ken Ferrari, and you know, and for all the right reasons. But a really compelling battle for me is the Alpine Racing Bulls one. I think this is a very interesting thing to watch because it was double points finish this weekend. By any measure, Paul, you'd say another terrific result for Alpine.
Right.
Contextually based on what they've been doing for the last 5 years, which is little to nothing.
Floundering. Yeah.
Right. So having yet another double points finish with Colapinto P9 and Gasly in P10, you think that's a great result. And it normally would be if both Racing Bulls didn't finish ahead of you, right? And they did. So I think this is the battle to watch, just as a good example of two teams developing during the season and one team developing or out-developing the other. Because Alpine clearly, from the beginning of the season until now, was kind of surprisingly, not so surprisingly to me, mind you, because our preseason, I said this would happen, but they were the best of the rest. And it was really refreshing to see how well they're doing. Racing Bulls have slowly reeled them in to just 1 point between them. And I find that just really fun to watch. I do. I lament the fact that broadcast TV doesn't show enough of the Alpines and Racing Bulls during the race. Yeah,
I mean, those battles is what differentiates Formula One from maybe most sports, even most motorsports, is of that is like a battle, mighty battle going on. As you say, maybe not getting it on the TV time, but it's so massive. It's like we've got the Football World Cup. You win or you lose when you go away. But to win a seventh place versus a ninth place is like a massive win for these people when they're in there. You know, and it goes race by race by race. So it's so important. And as I say, you look all the way down through the whole field. Everyone's got an interesting story, and it's an interesting story that we're all drawn in to find out what's going to happen next. Yeah. It
is. It's not. To your point, it is what makes Formula One, and I think we do a disservice to all the men and women that work for those teams when we don't focus on those things, when we feel like the battle for 7th, 8th, 9th between Racing Bulls and Alpine is like yawner, who cares? And I think we do them a disservice because the men and women at those teams are working their tails off. Mm-hmm. And to finish 5th in the championship versus 7th is massive to these teams. I mean, it's huge. It's millions and millions of dollars in prize money and potential sponsorship and marketing efforts and everything that goes into this. It hinges on where they finish in that. So it will sting. And they're not working
with the same set of tools either, right?
That's right. They're
some
not.
Have massive budgets, so they're doing what they can with maybe half a budget of a Ferrari team. Yes, exactly. So, and they have the cost cap they got to work within, and the team dynamics and the personnel and the drivers. It's all what makes us a magic thing. Any one of us as fans, if we had the opportunity to just be embedded with Alpine for a season, where we just went and we watched what they went through and sat in their meetings and listened to what they struggle with and go through that conversation, we would come out at the end of that season being huge fans of the empathy and compassion that we would have for the men and women of those team and watching what they do. We would be massive fans of that team. Yeah. You know? Agreed. Yeah. But we don't see that. So anyway, sorry to get on a soapbox, but I just think that's important to point out. So watch this Alpine battle and see if they can develop back over the summer, a break, and see what they do to try to take that fight to Racing Bulls, because this will be really interesting. Again, like I said, double points finish. Franco Colapinto, a good weekend, had a magical catch early in the race, man. That car was literally sideways, and he caught it. And it was a great recovery. He's got quick hands, that boy. Yes, he does. He does have quick hands. Line deal. Yes. Where that was? Yeah. Was it Lawson or somebody that was stalled? Yeah, it was like, stopped, whoa. Yeah, very quick hands. Anyway,
fought back, had 19th on the grid, fought back, great recovery, got it all the way up to 9th and with Antonelli's penalty. So good on him. Said that they had a floor problem that cost him significant downforce mid-race. I don't know what happened there. A bit of a mechanical wrinkle for the weekend for him, but still finished ahead of Pierre, which is no easy task.
Small feat.
No, not at all. A good race for him, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. And once again, we're talking about consistency, and he struggled for a very long time.
Yes.
And it's like, why is he still even in that team? And he's turned it around.
He has.
And he is fighting it tooth and nail with Gasly. They always seem to be joined together on all the races right now.
Yeah.
And they can squawk at each other. He's slowing me down. He's doing this and that. But both, basically, they're pretty even in pace right now.
And as is Lawson and Lindblad. They're running close. Right. So that's what makes that an interesting.
Yeah, but we know how quick Gasly can be. So for Colapinto to be able to do that, I think is very good for him.
It is. It's like Isaac being close to Max. It's good.
Yeah.
Good
exactly.
measurement. Pierre, slow pit stop caused a system fault caused by a system fault of some sort. Lost quite a bit of track position there. He had to fight back to that. He did reach his 500th career championship point this weekend. That was good. It was also Ferrari's 250th victory.
Holy moly.
Same weekend, America celebrates its 250th year. So that was interesting. So there you go. Briatore said, look, Racing Bulls, they've outpaced Alpine across the last two events, despite the tight standings in the championship. And it kind of goes back to my concern I had last week and the week maybe previous with you. Are we seeing Racing Bulls now starting to outdevelop Alpine? And does Alpine have a development answer for that for the balance of the year? I don't know. Everybody has a budget. Does Alpine have a budget?
Everyone has different timetables of when they use those things too.
Yeah, but it's the timetables, and when does Alpine release developments, and how many more development cycles do they have for the balance of H2 this year? I don't know, but it'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah, it's because obviously a lot of people bring upgrades after the break.
Yeah,
but there's something to be gained by getting ahead of that game.
Yeah.
Because the other teams aren't really pushing for those upgrades till till that break. But if you can bring them in sooner and they work, you can actually move yourself up the table a little bit. Yeah,
it's a good point, because you could probably nip off a few points earlier in the season that get you, in a better position to fend it than waiting and hoping the upgrades work in order to then gain those points.
Right. I mean, I know they wait time and time so because we want to make them as perfect as they can be, but sometimes you just kind of get out there and get dirty. Yeah. Talking about getting out and getting dirty, let's talk about Williams. You got Carlos Sainz P12, Alex Albon, another DNF. Difficult weekend, despite a new upgrade package. Val's conceding that the rivals are just making much larger performance steps now than Williams is. Sainz also picked up a rare post-race penalty for a safety car procedural infringement where he sort of passed himself, or I don't know what he did. Passed the pace car, I think, and he wasn't supposed to, I think. Okay, he unlapped himself for not being a lap down. Whatever it is. Something. Yeah. Carlos had a strong start. Climbed his way up into the points and then kind of drifted backwards in the second half. Had that unlapping infringement, and that got the penalty for that. Said the upgrade is not delivered as expected and called for a much deeper analysis into the car's issues. As I said a couple podcasts ago, Carlos is not happy. No. And someone asked me this weekend, they were like, what's your favorite Formula One team? And I'm like, well, I don't really have a team. You're not a team guy. I'm not a team guy, but I said, but I really was hoping that Williams would be me too. Moving up, and it's kind of fallen flat. And it has. My boy James, I know he tries, and he's got heart and soul into it, but something isn't clicking right now.
Something's not working.
Yeah, something's not working with how it's going about, the people he has. I'm not sure, but they definitely haven't made the progress for the effort that they've been putting into it. So they need to reevaluate that stuff too.
I said last week with Grace, Paul, I said that I think we've all been James vowed.
Yeah.
Sold out. I think Carlos Sainz got vowed too, He sold a great story. Yeah. But I feel like this is an inflection point for Williams because, he convinced the investors and the team to just write off the next 2 seasons. It's 2026 we're looking at. We're here at 2026, and they're doing worse than they did last year in a year that they were kind of just writing off.
Right.
And that's a problem, Mm-hmm. No one knows that more than James, of course. And it'll be interesting to see if he can turn that around. Alex had a DNF, was out turning around, gathering data, and then they retired their car. There's not much to talk about there.
Yeah.
Haas, not a lot to talk about here. You had Ollie Behrman, P13, Esteban Ocon in P14. Difficult home race for Ollie. I hate it for him. I like Ollie. I think he's driving really well. He spun around at Brooklands after being clipped by Albon, ending any realistic opportunity. He had to gain some points at that point. Fought back through the traffic, did a decent job in clean air, but really lacked the pace to challenge for any sort of points. Said the team needs to find more raw pace, full stop. Mm-hmm. He did praise the operational execution of the team, thought the pit stop strategy, everything was fine. It's just the car does not have the pace, period. And that's a team I'm a little worried about this point, whether they're going to develop and how much.
Yeah.
Because you got Racing Bulls now, you got Alpine now, you got Audi in there now ahead of them, and it's kind of like...
Yeah, when the rules change that much, it's, there's more gaps between the winners and losers than rule stability would hold you, right? So they're still trying to find their feet, find the little tricks that are going to get to work. But
you feel like maybe instead of calling Gene after the race, they should call Delara.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you would think with their as successful as Ferrari are becoming, that would kind of have a trickle down effect, but it doesn't seem to have done that yet. Maybe
that's got to be the chassis.
Maybe Ferrari have kept a few modes behind as well as Mercedes.
Maybe they have this one weird trick they're using. It would tell you it's got to be the chassis.
Yeah.
And that's hard to say. Esteban, P14, gained 6th place. Man, he had a great start, though. That opening lap was terrific for him. Best starts of the season for the team. Lost ground gradually as the tire and downforce limitations just sort of reasserted themselves. It was like, he had a great start, and then basically they chewed him up from that point. Also, compounded, he had a slow pit stop, too. That didn't help the whole deficit.
Because he got the advantageous pit stop.
He did. On that very brief virtual safety car, but it didn't really help him out. Yeah. Anyway, tough weekend for them. Very tough. Cadillac P15 for Sergio Perez, Valtteri Bottas in P17. I would say, although 15th and 17th, I think this weekend was a genuine step forward for the team. Both cars completing the full race distance. No one's brakes were on fire. I think that's good. One of the stronger weekends with some upgrades. I think that's a good thing. Sergio held off the Haas's for most of the race. He said it was Cadillac's best weekend so far of this season, which is good. Holding off both the Haas's and the Cadillac. I think that's a pretty good thing. Said they also need just pure raw speed at this point. Yeah. For them to have any hope to fight midfield, that's what they're lacking. And really not a lot to talk about for the team, but you had Bottas in P17. Paul, it was his first finish since Canada.
Yeah, that's helpful. I guess that's a reliability marker. I mean, for the team, I think they're doing actually really well. I think, Formula One isn't easy. They came in as a new, fresh team, learning everything as you go. finding out where the good hotels are. But, expectations were they would be at the back of the pack.
Yeah.
Aston Martin obviously have helped them leap forward a couple of positions there, but now they're nipping at the heels at the back of the mid-pack, I think, is exactly what they should dream of. And the little milestones will keep getting more competitive milestones, but right now I think that was their most competitive outing, where they're fighting not just to beat the Aston Martins at this point, but to actually fight the other cars as well. So I think it's very encouraging. Yeah,
I agree. It's first year at the back, and you understand, but I think Graham and team's got to be happy. Now they're nipping at Haas. Maybe next is Williams, and you start, moving that direction. So it's good. Yeah, it's a good weekend for them. Not a good weekend for Aston Martin. Alonso P18, Lance Stroll P19, slowest car in the grid by a wide margin. Alonso had a formation, on the formation lap, had some sort of system shutdown. And had to go into the pit lane, start from pit lane. On the way to the grid.
I thought we just lacked enthusiasm. We went, to hell with it.
Yeah. I thought maybe got out there and maybe just kind of, I think something's wrong with the car. I'm going to pull it in.
Yeah, something's broke.
Yeah, I'm going to park it up. Finish 18th, lap down. Did make the race distance. There's that. Said the team's working well together and they're all waiting for this promised upgrade. Talk about pressure on the promised upgrade. Lance said the same thing. He said basically patience is the only approach now, waiting on the upgrade. No pressure, Adrian.
Right. And we were talking about it before the show. I think it's going to be a substantially more than just an upgrade.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be, I feel like it's going to be a replacement, as big a replacement as they can get to, because they've got to change their whole concept. Didn't work. And whatever other things they got wrong with how to, and with the engine programs, etc. That's why they basically haven't even paid attention to any development at all, because everybody is just in on this new car, which will be essentially a new car, I'm sure.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it will be too, a B spec. Look, I the convenient punching bag, folks, but. I think I'll go out on a limb and I say, it's not good. I agree. But there's some very smart people there doing very smart things, and they will figure it out. I think they will in time. Honda knows how to build an engine. They won 4 titles with Red Bull on the trot. It's a new team at Honda. New assembled team and growing team and resources and everything at Aston Martin. Look, it takes time. They were hoping for a much better season, no doubt about it. But I think, Adrian knows how to make a car. We'll see. Got to give him time.
Yeah. Something missed on the conception, and hopefully they've got a good understanding of what that mistake was and can fix it. Yeah,
I agree. I think the combination could be lethal. They just got to get everything firing on all cylinders. So we'll see. All right. Well, we're at the end of the race review, but we always hand out awards. And the first award we always hand out, you got to search yourself for this. You got to look. You got to find, what was the move of the race?
Seriously, Todd?
Yes, seriously. What was your move of the race, Paul?
Well, I really enjoyed the to and fro to some degree. As I say, I always keep things in check with this whole overtake mode and what's it modes and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the cat and mouse was pretty cool between Lewis and Russell, I think, and ultimately some pretty daredevil passes on the outside, whether you got overtake mode or not. I was pretty exciting to watch. It was a lot of fun to watch. The yo-yoing, maybe not so much, but at least it was kind of fun while it was happening. I don't know what broadcast you watched, but I always watch this guy. David Croft had his Lewis Hamilton love meter turned all the way up to 10. One. Oh my gosh! Oh, yeah. It'd be like, okay, and there's Kimi Räikkönen. Oh, he's slowing down, and Lewis Hamilton is turning into a corner.
It's like, okay. And then it's like, yeah, and Max, he slid off in the rear. And Lewis Hamilton is braking. He's like, oh my gosh, dude, calm it down. Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. I thought it was good fun to watch Lewis battling his old teammate. It was good fun, and had some good moves there, back and forth. Move of the race, I could give it to Charles for jumping Kimi at the start, having a great start, getting the car underneath him.
I don't think we even talked about that. The whole Ferrari start scenario is back. It seemed flourished, didn't it?
It did. It did. And I thought, that's pretty good. I could also give it to George and Mercedes for their cheeky move, keeping him out, because that made his race. Otherwise, he'd be toward the back. Yep. So I thought that was a really good move. All right. Next award. Well, we love it. It's not good. It's not fun. It's Donkey of the Race.
It is.
Can I give it to MBS for feeling like he is the show in F1 and having to have his own go-kart to lead all of the Lego go-karts around the track and then beaching it? That was my favorite moment, seeing him go through the rocks.
Yeah, I think we should name the Donkey Award after him.
The MBS Award.
Yes. Yeah, the MBS Donkey Award.
The MBS Award.
Because he could win it he always does something every weekend. It's like, what a donkey.
I know. Yeah. He was on the podium and, yet again directing everyone where
stroking
to go.
Hair, was he this time again?
No, he wasn't stroking hair, but he's always directing people where to go. And it's just like, dude, you are such cellophane. My gosh. What a vacuous leader. Anyway, who is your donkey?
Yeah, I'm giving it to the penalties. The end of race festivities with the safety car.
The software glitch.
The software glitch was just outwardly getting people excited about a restart that wasn't going to happen. As they write the rules, all the cars have to be past the leader for the lap catch up a lap before they can restart the race, and they didn't do that. And that's just formatting the process. The process is way too long. I mean, it's as long as an IMSA series full course caution catch up, where we've got
50
cars with 4 different classes that all have to be split up and reassessed, and all the teams make pit stops. It's the same amount of time. How is that happening? I mean, they've got to go look at that and speed this up, and they definitely, if they can't do it in time, then I guess stop the race. I hate red flags though, but
I do too.
Just get it done quickly. That Max's car wasn't in a bad place. It was easy to get retrieved. They retrieved it fairly quickly, but they went through this whole process. Took way too long. And I know we talked about it for the start. It's like, and we talked about it after the Abu Dhabi incident, was why do the cars have to pass the leader? It's way quicker if they just get out of the way and pull to the back of the line, and we could get that sorted in like 3 corners instead of taking 3 laps.
Yeah,
because you're waiting for the cars to go by, then catch up, or just everyone shuffle by. There's a quicker process. If you've gone a lap down, sorry, you're just going to stay a lap down. You're not going to be able to get your lap back. That's it. Especially at the end of the race. At the end of the race, be a different rule. Yeah, last 10% of the race, they should not do the pass by. They should do the full back. Something like that.
I agree. That's what I asked you. We were talking about it before the podcast. I said, why don't they just make all the back markers pull to the left side, everybody on the lead lap in order, pull on the right side, and have everybody fall back in line and go. And to your point, you could do that in half a lap,
Yeah.
It wouldn't take long. I wrote in my race report, IMSA and WEC manage, 3 times as many cars in a far better organized format than Formula One does. And they have multiple classes and back markers and everything else. And why doesn't Formula One look to WC or IMSA on how to manage, yellows and or a safety car session? It boggles my mind why it takes so long for all of that to happen. And to your point,
it's like it's new or something.
Yeah, it is. And it's like, you could solve this pretty easily. And I also don't. To your point, the teams maybe because the teams don't want any changes like that because that changes how they game the system and all that. But it also creates Abu Dhabi, or it also creates this weekend at the British Grand Prix. So to your point, I like your point, is maybe the last 10% of the race, new rules apply, to ensure the best possible way that we can get a green flag finish would be to make alterations on how we do back markers and how many laps the safety car has to stay out after you've cleaned up the field, and can you have a slower zone? I don't get it. So
no,
that was my donkey of the race too. That was it. All right. Well, the final one, you got it. It's driver of the race.
We'll do it live.
That's right.
Get down.
Oh yeah.
It's in there, Lewis.
Who was your driver of the race, Paul?
I had to give it to Charles. I mean, how do you not? It was, something he needed so badly, and he executed it so well. Even if he was going to come under fire from Kimi, Charles was the guy that Kimi had to beat, and ultimately he won the race. And so I thought it was just a great weekend for him, and I'm glad he's comfortable with the car. It's painful when you see Charles dwindling down there. He doesn't take it so well, right? And he needs that to be able to fight with Lewis to remark his place in the team as one of their great drivers.
Yeah. I gave it to Charles too. I could give it to Kimi too. I think Kimi did an amazing job. He was reeling Charles in. I think it was his race. The
result
honest.
Obviously didn't show what Kimi did out there. Kimi was amazing.
He was.
Honestly.
He really was. I think this was his race. Unfortunately, he didn't get it. But I think Charles had a really good race, and I give it to Charles too. I felt like I very much like you said at the beginning of the podcast, it's a race Charles needed. He needed that result this season, and he needed it now. So happy for him, and I'm glad that he got that win. Hated for Kimi, but happy that he got the win. So great result. All right. We have a podcast coming up, don't we?
Yeah, kind of a big one, I think.
It is a big one. We've got
this
a podcast.
This is a podcast too, though, mind you. But
well, this is a podcast. But we have what? We've got we have the British Grand Prix, and then we have the mighty Spa-Francorchamps.
Yes.
Paul, did you know that it could be raining on parts of Spa and not on other parts? I didn't know if you knew that.
That's interesting you say that, because I even had that this weekend, and I was astounded. I was amazed.
Yeah.
The drivers are calling out, there's rain in 12. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's sunny over here.
Yeah. What are you, nuts? It's daytime over here. Did you know it could be night on one part of the track and day? Yeah. Now, Paul, did you also know that Silverstone was a former air base during World War II? Airport.
I heard that fairly recently on Sleep, but for the first time.
First time I've ever heard that. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, yes, our 1000th episode, folks. Super excited about that coming up. What better place to celebrate that than Spa, really?
There is no better place to celebrate.
It's glorious. It's glorious.
Yes.
So be prepared for that one. We're super excited for that. We'll have some special things for that. It may be a longer one, folks. Can't help it.
There may be some crying.
There could be some weeping and gnashing of teeth in this. I don't know. Yes. And it may not mean a lot to you, but for us, it's 1,000 episodes. We've been podcasting since 2005, folks, and been doing this a long time. So anyway, be sure you catch that one.
Yeah, and if you happen to be a Parc Fermé listener and are going to be at Spa, I'm not going to tell you where they are, but there's some Easter eggs.
Got some Easter eggs
in the city of Spa and at the Spa circuit that might have something to do with the Parc Fermé. So if you see something that alerts you,
send us a picture.
Hey, I know that logo. Send us a picture.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. Paul sent me these pictures of where he put these things. And it's pretty incredible. Some of the places he put these things, like, holy cow, you got it there? That's amazing.
Yeah. Surprised I didn't get arrested, but I did it. I was slick.
You were stealth, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
Like, holy cow, you put it there? That is awesome. So anyway, if you're going to Spa this weekend, find Paul's Easter eggs where he left them, and it'll be amazing if you find some of them. And
we'll give you a prize.
Yeah, send us a picture. All right. Well, we'll be back next weekend to do it all over again. Until that time, this is Todd, a.k.a. Negative Camber, saying so long.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
I don't feel I got to prove at all. I don't really want to prove anything. I started as an amateur with no idea or no intention of